Coming to you from the Radio for One studios in Franklin, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast.
Big fan.
A show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulation.
Thank you for your support of the Detroit Cast.
Oh, there it is.
And without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
Wow. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Detroit Cast, powered by DealsInTheD.com. Mike and Jay, shalom, Big E. Hello, Jay. How are you, my friend?
Perfect. What a weekend, huh?
Oh, busy.
Busy weekend.
I'm not usually that busy on the weekend. I don't like that. Gotta be honest with you. I get a little tuckered. I need naps. I need lots of naps.
You gonna make it through the Lions game Sunday night?
Dude, I don't know, because I'm tired now. Like, last night was awesome, but it's a lot, and I'm tired. I've been running around with Jerry from the Jacks since Tuesday.
He tuckered you out.
He tuckered me out. He's a good boy.
He was looking a bit tired by the end of the event yesterday, yeah.
It was good. That's the good thing about running around with a 75-year-old man is, like, Beth was like, oh, I was thinking we'd do this and that, and Jerry would just be like, well, I could just relax here with the pets. He was like, yeah, I like the way that guy's thinking. Let's relax here with the pets. But yeah, what a blast, man. Last night was awesome. Thank you to everybody for coming out.
It's a lot of fun to see a lot of people we knew as well as a lot of new faces. So, yeah, thanks.
I think Jerry wanted to jack off or maybe fell in love with every person he met. I was trying to get a running tally. He fell in love with Tim, who drove him from the airport. He fell in love with Adam, who had beers with him.
Ran into us at the bar on Thursday.
At the bar. Absolutely head over heels in love with you. And then, dude, I think he fell even harder for Bill Ogden.
Oh, really?
Oh, he that El Prez guy, interesting fellow. I'm like, you have a crush on El Presidente.
Wow.
He's like, well, he's very, very handsome, and his dress, and oh, yes. He goes, and that Stephen Gabbara's quite a handsome devil, too. I was like, you want to jack off with Gabbara, too? He's like, well, I'm just saying. I mean, there's a lot of good-looking people around here. And then there were a couple people at the bar.
Yeah.
It was like, dude.
He was in his glory, man.
He was. He was so fucking happy and so thrilled. I'll tell you, people, he came over here this morning. Beth took him to the airport, and he was just on cloud nine. So happy. People donated to keep the Jacks going. He got like $400 or something
wow. That's great.
from people. But this is a guy that showed up for a 5-day trip with a backpack, not a phone, not a suitcase,
A pink and gray gingham backpack.
yes, and a
Should
pink
mention that.
ball cap.
Yeah.
He had $300 on him. He spent not a penny.
Good for him, man.
We got him through this event without spending a fucking penny. And I think that's about all he had. And it was just like, I don't know where he's getting it from or how he's doing it, but boy, did he have a blast. He was so overwhelmed by the people and the response and talking to listeners.
How could he not be? Everybody,
Yeah.
was so gracious and nice to him, and you
Yeah.
know, so excited to meet him.
It
meet
was-
the voice finally.
It was amazing. There were people in the bar that were like, dude, all right, there's a friend of mine who's in California. You got to talk to him. He'd be like, hello. And they're like, no fucking way. No fucking way. He's like, yes, it's true. It's me, Jerry, from the San Francisco Jacks. Hang up. Dude, this is my boy in Arizona. He's going to fucking freak. Dial him up. Hello.
As he's wearing a crown, a homemade light-up crown.
Dude.
It was a light fixture, man.
It wasn't a light fixture. It was more of a chandelier. It was Cara who was nice enough to take him in, and she took him for a couple nights. He absolutely loved David and Cara. Cara. And so he walks in, and when you first walk in the door, is that my phone? That sounds sorry.
What was that?
That was my ringer was on. My bad. Very unprofessional.
Wow.
Sorry. Sorry about that. So he walks in, and they just moved into this house 3 weeks ago.
In the entryway, there's sort of this garish crystal kind of thing sitting there.
Faux crystal.
Yeah, plasticky.
Just that you put over a light bulb, right? And he's like, oh, that almost looks like a crown. And she's like, it's hideous. We got to take it down. We just moved in. We've got a lot of things we want to do. And he's like, oh, I think we could make a crown out of that. And she's like, all right. And so they pull it down, and they have to put padding in it so that
Sure.
it fits like a hat. And he's like, you don't happen to have any lights that light by battery operation, do you? And she's like, well, as a matter of fact, I think I do.
Some LEDs.
And so then they're making plastic little men with giant dongs and putting it on the top. And then he's got beads.
Yeah.
He made beads for us all. Like all of us had these bead necklaces that he did by hand,
Mm-hmm.
and then he had that crown all night. All night he wore that crown. And he was
Perfect.
just,
It was easy. It was nice because it was easy to spot where he
Totally.
was.
People would be
Yeah.
like, "Where's Jerry?"
he?
Look,
Ah,
man,
right there.
his head's lit up
The
over there.
floating
you should see this
crown
floating,
walking around.
floating crown.
That was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Thanks again to everybody that came out and dressed up, and we had a blast as always, hanging out with everybody. I know there were some tense moments. I almost got killed. I don't know if you knew that.
I didn't.
Dude. So we get there, and not that far. I'm probably one tall beer in, and the Michigan State game is still going on, and it's on the TVs. And I think they're about to go into overtime. Didn't they go into like 2 or 3 overtimes or something? Was that the state
I
game?
guess it was the third one. Yeah, that they lost in.
Okay. So it's like a minute left in the game, and this guy, he's fucking 6 inches taller than me, kind of a big dude, is watching he's wearing a Spartan T-shirt. He looks our age or younger. I assume he's one of our listeners. And so I'm saddled up at the rail, and he starts talking. He's like, man, who you rooting for? I'm like, I'm Sparty. He's like, who do you like better, Michigan or Michigan? I'm like, dude, I didn't go to either. I like both. You know, State's playing right now. I'm rooting for State. No, you got to give me an answer. Who do you like better? And so I start fucking with him because I think he's a listener. And so I'm going back and forth, and I'm like,
You start going, look at the poops.
yeah, look at that poops. Look at that poops. You want to get yourself killed? Ha!
Very
And,
good.
dude, I'm doing like, oh, yeah, you think you're a tough guy, do you? Oh, fuck. Elbow to the throat. Leg sweep. Down you go. You're a dead man.
He's
and
just some fucking guy.
he's like, I'll fucking kill you. And I go, oh, you will you? Now I'm poking his chest.
Yeah.
Really? What are you going to do about the elbow to the throat, leg sweep? Done. End you. I will fucking end you. And he's like, no, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to take you in the parking lot and kill you. And I'm like, boy, this joke stinks all of a sudden. This guy's no fun. And I'm like,
What? Like for real?
and he's like, and then Marisa is standing behind me and her husband. And he's like, are you with her? And I'm like, no, she's with her husband. And he's like, I like them. I don't like you. In fact, I'm going to kill you outside. And I'm like, okay. And so I turn around and I'm like, I think it's time for me to leave. And he's just glaring at me. He's wasted. He's wasted. And so I'm like, hey, man, so who you here with? I mean, you here for the Detroit cast. He's like, what's the Detroit cast? And I'm like, oh fuck. I've just been
I don't know what the Detroit cast is.
I've totally been fucking with this guy. Now I'm thinking back to like, oh yeah, that must be really weird when this guy's like,
Really random.
elbow to throat. Very good. Very good. I will fucking get you, you piece of shit. You know, I didn't give him those aids.
Were you doing?
Dude, I'm doing
elbow moves?
Dude,
Like-
I literally, I swear to God, Jay, I'm doing this. Oh, you're gonna kill me, are you? Oh,
Poking him.
and I'm poking him. He's towering over me, and
He's
so
got AIDS.
finally, I just like backed away and was just like, okay, this guy has no idea who we are. This is getting weird. He might actually kill me. And so I just kind of backed out. And then I had 3 or 4 people come up to me through the night that had no idea that had happened. They were like, dude, what was that? What? Did you see that guy up at the bar? He was
Yeah.
fucking weird. He was weird. What an asshole, blah, blah, blah. And so other people had incidents with him, and apparently he left at some point. But make sure you know who I feel like the people there would have had my back if he would have tried to kill me in the parking lot, but holy
Probably.
shit.
Right? For the
Not
most part.
you,
I saw-
E,
okay,
obviously,
thank
but
God.
Hey, insurance, we all need it. Most of us don't even know what kind of coverage we have or who provides it. Let fellow TDC listener Brent Wasik from Wasik Insurance Services change all that. Brent has over 29 years in the business. He offers all types of insurance coverage: auto, home, health, life, business, commercial, and more. Call Brent Wasik, 734-455-1900. Get a free, no-obligation quote today.
hey, we should mention Brent Wasik, too. He came up big during E's fundraiser.
Yeah, he had a little
I sort of
telethon
remember that. I
Thursday.
think I was half in the bag when Brent was on the phone.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Tara. They were both on the phone. I don't remember what they
Tara,
donated.
Tara.
Tara. Well, yeah, dude,
Yeah, I don't actually
it's
remember
been a long
either,
week.
but yeah.
But yeah, they
It was
called
good,
up.
whatever it
and-
was.
Dude, I got to tell you, E, that was mighty impressive what you pulled off over the weekend, son.
Yeah, what are you over, 11,000?
Over 11,000 right now.
That's
yeah.
great, man.
That is incredible.
Of course, we're referring to E's Telethon that stretched from Thursday right after our show until
Yeah.
Friday afternoon. And he's raising funds at ericfady.com.
Now, yes, thanks to Craig Backus.
Go to
it's ericfady.com.
ericfady.com, and that'll link you up with his page where you can donate.
Which, by the way, I should say, for one, there is more incentive now. There's some things to help people kind of maybe get it going even a little more. Jerry, mentioning Jerry, he was
From the Jacks?
From the Jacks, was kind enough to sign some tissue packets.
Yeah.
These are the travel ones. The little. I don't know if anyone can see this on camera.
Ladies put them in their purse.
Yes, you can put them in your hoodie pocket.
Yeah.
Anywhere,
Mom,
really.
I need a Kleenex. There's a Kleenex.
It's right there. And he signed them, Wank You, SF Jerry from the Jacks, Detroit Cast 2017.
And as Mike said, like, Mike would have like just signed the freaking thing right here. Just sign Jerry. He didn't. He very carefully wrote on all these and stuff.
Spent like an hour doing this, right?
Yeah,
Like,
he was
really
here for a while
filling
doing
them out.
Yes, he was very mindful of it. Everything to him is serious. Everything to him comes from the heart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he handmade those beads and picked them out specifically and brought them here with intentions. And
Yeah.
his signature, it's like, no. We're going to, however long it takes, it takes.
And
And he signed them all.
So he's
did-
over 11,000 right now.
Yep, over 11,000. He did 15 of them. So I'm going to say that the next 15 people to give $30 or more. I know where the last person they gave money is, so I know where the
You'll be able
line
to count
is.
the next 15.
And so, yeah, the next 15 people that are willing to give $30, well,
Or
I will,
more. They
or
don't-
more. Oh, yes,
they-
absolutely, or
They
more.
don't have to only do 30.
No. Of
Yeah.
course, or more. I'd prefer or more, but whatever. I will ship them out for. I'll ship you out a Jerry signed tissue thing. So
Very
that's
nice.
that's for that. And the thing is, I just want to say, and I know we don't have to go too much into it, but this has to have a few more weeks to go, man. And we're in the lead right now, and I feel like I have some knowledge that we can win this thing, man. The Detroit Cast can win this thing, and there is
Bloink.
for the first year ever. She's not even close. Are you kidding me? Bloink is.
Smoking Bloink, as we should.
But this is the first year ever they're doing a trophy for the dance and a trophy for the person who raises the most individual.
So you're going to bring home all the hardware.
We need that, man. We need a trophy.
Will you give
in
another
this
speech?
thing. Hell yes, I will give a speech, and at that point I'll be in a black tie event situation.
Hell
so.
yeah.
I think we'll bring a formal motion for him to be a board member at that point.
Dude, why
I mean,
not?
If he takes
Why
hardware
not?
home, absolutely. They have to.
Take the lowest fundraising member on the board and kick his ass to the curb. We're bringing the tard in. I don't know what he does. I don't even care. He brings in more money.
He's
than
lightning in
you.
a bottle, man.
Dude, he's outperforming the three of you. All of you gone. We're
He can't
replacing you
do
with one
much, but he
E-tard.
can do this, strangely enough.
Yes. You'd be amazed what you can do with your own piss in a bottle. Look at E.
Well, how was it, E? I mean, this is revisiting the Big Eagle Camp.
Yeah, it
so it
was
was a
crazy.
24/7 broadcast. It was on YouTube and Facebook Live, right?
Yep.
And thank you to PC Solutions who helped with that.
Yep.
Make that somewhat seamless.
Should probably give a big shout out to Mike Walters for having his house
Having the
open
house
to
open to
everybody. 'cause
anybody
it was,
and everybody.
It was a fucking zoo in here, so
I
that
know.
guy deserves a lot
I do.
of
You know what?
props.
I do.
He
appreciate
probably
it.
had no idea.
It had to smell like fuck down here after
You know how much
24 hours.
cleaning and shit has gone on in this house that was fucking destroyed in one 24-hour period?
Yeah.
Eek plugged the shitter upstairs.
Oh, Jesus.
I didn't even use the shitter upstairs.
Well, one of your
Somebody did.
idiot friends
Okay,
did then.
yeah. That's even worse, probably.
Yeah, and
actually.
plugged the shitter and just went, well, someone else's problem
Yeah.
now.
I'm sorry, I did not know that. Honestly, wasn't aware of that.
Well, some fun was had, though, right? I mean, it was a
Dude,
good
it was
time.
crazy. Yeah, it was absolutely crazy. It was a weird experience because I've stayed up 24 hours before several times, but doing it here, not in a sense where I had to be talking and engaging for 24 hours. And there was a period when my friends left from 3:30 to 5 that I swear I actually did consider, like, could I lay down for a half hour? Would it be that big of a deal? But I didn't, and it kept going. And obviously, as we've proven again, these listeners of this show are absolutely amazing. I mean, that's
Yeah.
the reality is we went from last place to first place in 24 hours in the group here. So
There were some people that came over that really kind of saved your ass, man.
No question.
Bill Ogden came over. El
Yes.
Presidente came up huge. And Gabarra, they came over here and sat here for 4 fucking hours with us, dude.
That's what I heard. I
They
think
were planning to stop by for 15 minutes.
right.
Bill was in a hurry. It's like, dude, I got to get up at 5 in the
he
morning.
almost wasn't gonna stop.
He was here
by.
till almost 1.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, that's
The microphone is intoxicating.
It is. And they love sitting in the king's throne.
Yeah,
People are getting off
I'm
on the
watching
king's
YouTube
throne.
and I'm like, what the fuck, man? Is that El Prez with a stupid hat on sitting at my mic?
Yeah, those guys. You're
Stop
right.
pushing the buttons. Stop playing with my drop machine.
Yeah.
Oh, Gabarra got on a roll. And
Oh,
he was
my God.
He was misfiring. I mean, they were all misses.
Yeah.
For 10 minutes.
Yeah, I was trying.
I think
to
he
be
was
nice.
just, his eyes might have been closed. He was just throwing darts. Whatever
Oh,
I hit, I hit.
I didn't think he was looking. Whatever. You're right. They helped out a lot. Jerry talked for a few hours with
Wow.
me.
Yeah,
Probably,
Jerry
probably
was here
2
forever.
maybe. And then honestly, I know not as many people listened at the later hours. It was the lowest viewed point. But the reason I brought friends in on purpose from 12:30 to like 3:30 in the
keep
morning
you awake,
is to
right?
just keep me awake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the reality
Yeah.
is, if I didn't have somebody there with me, not as many people are watching. 3 people watching. So sometimes we literally were talking to nobody.
Yeah.
But for one, the Facebook Live goes on your Facebook forever, so people, if they want to go back and listen and stuff. And two, the gist was that I wanted to do 24 hours. So it didn't matter if really people weren't listening.
Dude,
then I just needed to be up.
And you called in I couldn't believe how available you were for him, Jay.
Jay called
Honestly,
in a
dude,
lot.
you did some yeoman's work
thank you,
yourself,
yeah.
my friend. I mean, that was like
Did what
It
I
was a
could.
team effort
every
for
time I
sure.
tuned it in, it was like, there's Jay, and I'm like, good boy, helping E out. He needs the help.
Jay-
It was funny because I had at one point let the cat out of the bag, but I had texted Riley. It was like, hey, dude, he's doing this thing for charity. Is there any way you can call and just say hi? You'll blow his mind if you call him up and say hi. I didn't ask him for money or anything. And he's like, yeah, I'm tied up right now, but give me a little bit. What's his goal? And I was like, 10 grand. He's like, what's he at? And I'm like, I don't know, it's 6 grand or something.
Well,
And
it's
so-
funny. It's funny because both of us were working angles at the same time. So you finish your angle.
Yeah.
And I'll mention mine.
And so I'm leaving. I'm getting ready to leave the house, and he's at like 8,700 or
Yeah,
something,
something like that.
8,600. And so so I said I was hoping I'd be here when Matt called in, but I had to go. I had to pick Jerry up and take him to the DIA. And so I texted Matt. I said, "Look, dude, I got to run, but give him a buzz." Da 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 da. And he goes, "Yeah, I was going to, but Jay's talking to him right now, so I don't want to bother them."
So yeah, I
and
see a
I'm-
text. Get off the
I'm
phone,
like,
man.
Dude, get off the fucking phone. Riley wants to call. You know.
Well, I had to finish my phone call because I thought at that point you knew what he was doing.
I didn't.
You
All I
didn't
heard.
realize that I was trying to get him as close to 10 as I could.
And I appreciate
all right,
that
so
effort
here,
for
here
you.
was the deal. He's at like 7 grand. He's like, if I can get to 10, I'll call my mom. And so everybody's like, oh, we got to get to 10. We got to
Yeah.
have E call his mom.
Hi, Mrs. Fady.
And I see nothing really happening between 6,800 and 72. It's kind of slow.
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah,
like looking at the clock, like, dude, he's got 2 hours left. How's this going to happen? So I called up. I'm like, Jesus, we got to set a goal of like 8,500. We got to get there quickly.
Yeah. Which
And
is
so
right.
what we resolved, I'll take the blame. What I resolved was maybe if we offered up Mike's pillow swept across E's balls. Oh, he's getting hit. He's getting hit. Oh, he's getting pummeled. He's getting pummeled. He's going down.
That was bullshit.
Well, sorry.
I probably deserve that more than E.
I know, but if I hit you, you'll hit back. E, are you okay?
Yeah, but-
Sorry that you brought that up. Dude, you wiped your balls and asshole across my favorite
Oh
pillow.
my God, he did like a towel thing. You know how
Dude,
you dry stuff?
I saw it,
Yeah.
and I saw 10 other people fucking send it to me. So I had to watch him.
Oh man.
Who hits harder, me or Jay?
That was
that was pretty rough.
That was
man.
like a real.
Yeah, that was a
fight.
beatdown. That was a beatdown. Mike just beat E down.
Once I got the
out of his
first lick
chair.
in, I was like, dude, I got to outdo Jay's beatdown.
E didn't have time to turtle. I mean, you connected.
He was trying, but
now he's flinching. He's like a dog that's been kicked.
I'm sorry, E. I shouldn't have done that.
What'd you get? 6, 7 hits in there?
Yeah, probably.
Wow.
Sorry,
That's
E.
gonna be sore in the morning.
Good. Dude, you wiped your
But here-
balls
well,
on my
here-
pillow.
Mike,
You never
Mike,
told
it
I
got
Usually,
us. It got
he
us
would-
to like 8,900. Like that, dude. It's
All
for
I-
charity.
I
for
didn't
SOS.
see- honestly,
Plus,
I
hold
had-
on. They're
all right.
machine washable, right?
No,
Yeah,
it's dead.
They're machine washable.
It's dead. You would need to give me all $11,000 because that's how much it would cost to wash that pillow to the point that I would use it again. It's dead to me. Dude, you saw what he did to your wife's gym.
Yeah, the poop flakes.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh, absolutely.
He's rubbing his shoulder. He's
Sorry.
I
get
will.
it.
I
It's
will
hurting
bring
now.
you. I will bring
get
you
it.
in my pillow. It is only laying across my head.
Here's
as you know.
you don't stop flinching. I'm not going to hit you. I'm sorry. E, which pillow did you use? Because there's a pillow downstairs,
The one that's on the couch.
down here.
Yeah, my pillow.
So, the My Pillow. There's another My Pillow on my bed without a case on it. So did you take the case off one of the pillows?
No, I don't know.
Dude,
This-
it never in my wildest dreams did I think like this pillow would be put back in circulation.
I
I
have-
thought this pillow would be burned. I thought you knew about this. I thought that was why you were texting me like, get off the phone with him. Because he's at that moment rubbing it across his balls.
Yeah, I almost canceled Riley. Nope, he doesn't deserve it. He doesn't deserve it. But I was the bigger
Thank you
man.
for not.
Well, I jumped into that because I picked up Beth and we were on our way to get Jerry, who wasn't staying with Beth that night. He was with Cara. And so I just had my cell phone. Cara and David. I just had my I go, Beth, just pull it up and we'll watch it. And that's when I start seeing comments like, or people calling in like, dude, I swear to God, if Walters gets pissed, I'll take the punch for him. And I'm like, oh, fuck,
What
what
are they
is
doing?
he doing? And then it was like, I can't believe Walters hasn't turned around and he's doing 180 back to his house right now. And I'm like, okay, what the fuck is... Did he just agree to like demolish a wall for
Right.
$200 or something? Did he sell out for $100 my house? Did he just sell the deed to the house to someone for $50?
No, just
what
your
has he
pillow.
done?
Just your favorite My Pillow.
Yeah, my favorite. And I've got fucking 8 pillows on the bed. Why would you take the My Pillow?
It was.
don't know.
He was specifically directed to grab your main pillow. It's
He
my fault.
did.
It's my fault. I will
Dude,
bring you a new My
Well,
Pillow.
I don't fault you for this, Jay. You were trying to raise money, and I appreciate you going to great lengths to do it. But E knows better. E knows. E should have called me on the down low. Dude, these guys want me to rub my bag and asshole on your pillow. Is there one you would sacrifice for the bit? I go, thank you, E. Take this one.
That would have been a good idea.
It would have been a great idea.
I didn't think about that.
He was up 22 hours at that point. You know what I mean? He was.
E,
I didn't think about that. That would have been a good idea.
I'm sorry I punched you.
Look at
Stop
him flinching.
sorry.
Look at him. He's like
He's
a dog.
flinching. I
It's like a
know,
dog
dude. He's
that's
like an
got kicked.
abused child now.
No, I get it. Please no.
He was getting so much better. I could walk past E without him going, ah, ah. Seriously, E, let me punch your other shoulder. Just once.
Just to even it out. Just to even it out.
If
No.
that one hurts too, then you won't feel that
No,
pain.
it will hurt. Dude.
Wow, man. Mike
I'm
is
not
really
going to hit
pissed.
you, E. I won't hit you, E.
Well, you did yeoman's work, E.
Well,
a great job.
Could I say one more thing? I forgot that I did say that I would give out a
Does it
ticket.
include an apology for a pillow?
I just said I'm apologies. I said I'm sorry. I said I'm sorry several times already in the last
Oh,
2
I
minutes.
was too busy pounding you.
As he was laying on the ground, getting pounded.
Dude, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I said on Sunday that I would give away anybody who had given $30 or more during the 24 hours would have a chance to watch the events on Saturday, November 18th at the Townsend.
We have a winner.
And we have a winner. I drew the winner out of, by the way, out of the Detroit Cast wood shoe
Oh, yeah.
that I had.
I saw he had a shitload of names.
Oh, yeah.
That he was working on he got here a couple hours ago and was cutting them all out,
It was
putting them in
very
the shoe.
impressive. Very impressive how many people gave within a 24-hour period.
So who's sitting
I don't
with
know how
us?
to quite pronounce this last name. Susan Dovitz, Dovitz. Dovitz.
Sure, Dovitz.
Susan, yeah, Dovitz.
Way to go, Susan.
There you go, Susan. Thank you very much. So to finish with Riley, he talked to E, and it was really uncomfortable. I'm like, E, just get him off, just let him go, let him pay, and then go. And E, I knew E
I
at that
know,
point had
I
been up for
cou-
22 hours. His brain is fried. But Riley's like, how much you need? He's like, $1,100. Matt's just like, done. You're there. You hit your goal. I'll give you $1,100, and Matt runs it through. And so I was out with Beth and Jerry later that weekend, and I was like, Matt, which restaurant is it that you have a part ownership in Royal Oak? And it's Mesa and Tequila, if you're ever around the area on Main between 3rd and 4th. And so we went by there, and he met us there. And he's like, dude, you have no fucking idea how impressive it is what Biggie did in your basement. He's like, I'm telling you, dude, I'm a part of countless fundraisers. I've run them. I've been a part of them. He said, just to put into context, he said, I was trying to raise money for something. I don't ask anybody for shit. I don't ask anybody for, especially money. You know, I've got plenty of heavy hitters around the country that, you know, maybe I'll ask them for a suite they have or something for a charity drive or whatever. I've never asked him. He said, I called all of them for an event I was doing. And I was like, dude, I've never asked you for money. Would you do me a favor and write a fucking check? And he said, $5,000 here, 1,000 here, $5,000 here, 1,000 there. He said, this went on for a week. I raised $26,000. He said, and that fucker with no connections raised $10,000. He said, dude, I was in shock. I'm scrolling through. He goes, your listeners are incredible. He goes, I'm going through it. It's literally $25 to $100 increments. He said, that's unheard of. Nobody raises that kind of fucking coin. Nobody. It's like, I don't know what you guys are doing over there, but that is fucking impressive as shit. And so when he's like, when I'm going through it, he's like, dude, I'm taking him over the 10 grand mark, which was awesome. So
well, I know we don't have to, you know, there's other stuff to talk about, so we don't have to get too much into it. And I don't want to get too emotional here, but I do want to say, of course, we're not done, but of course, thank you so much to the listeners. And I don't know how to explain it, but this is...
Is he getting teary-eyed? He's getting teary-eyed. Look at that son of a bitch!
He
He's about
is?
to cry.
Oh, E.
I'm not sure if he's crying because he just
Get
got
the
beat
violins
up,
out
or-
here.
I've brought my own, I'm Sean Penning it right now.
He brought himself to tears. Do you want my violins?
Yeah, here, let's see if I can get them going here.
You can use my violins while you cry. See if you can cry.
I was crying. I already am doing it.
Look at this son of a bitch. He's moved himself to tears.
He has.
my own goodness has moved myself. No, the listeners have moved me to tears. Like, I don't know if I can do a Proop's voice or not, but yeah. just a
you
dumb
can't.
idiot like me who can't even finish a sentence. My dad always said I couldn't even make it in radio if I couldn't complete a sentence.
He was right.
And now here it is.
Podcast.
1 year, done these 2 charity drives, and these people have just given money, and all I've done is talk, and who knows if people will listen to me talk.
I'm ending homelessness one person at a time.
I don't know. It's awesome. Honestly, it was. I don't know how to explain it. It honestly has changed my life. I don't know how to explain it.
It's great, man.
But I appreciate it.
It is amazing. The listeners, you look at the list and it goes on and on and on. There are tons of listeners who gave to this. Small increments, big increments.
Yeah.
But Isis, you are really good at this, though. Like, Gab walked by the computer at some point. She's like, oh my gosh, he's got a knack for this. Just the way he was rattling off what it's about and why he's doing it and how thankful he is.
There's something very, like, train wreck watchable about him. Because, dude, there was no game plan. That's the most magical part of it. Like, you and I, Jay, would have had to, okay, at the 1 o'clock hour, so-and-so's going to call. At
For
2 o'clock,
sure.
You would just want some sort of an outline just to, because you'd be worried, I'm going to look like an asshole if I'm just going, well, I don't know what else to say. But he's just like, blah, 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 blah. Well, what are we at now? Why no one else? Well, I guess I could refresh. He's just like, whatever hits his brain is being thrown out there.
It's
and it's
amazing.
almost magical to watch. It's like, how's he doing that? How's he doing that?
The bar is low.
The bar is low. But he's hitting that bar, dude, and it's they got to love you over there at SOS, man.
Yeah.
You're the best thing that happened to them.
It's awesome. Thank you. And I got to say that already we have 2 people. If you're listening to this, unfortunately, I know most people listen in the morning, but some people do listen live, and we already have 2 of the Jerry
Tissues are
Jerry
being
tissues
taken
gone,
off the
so
table.
there's
Excellent.
13 left.
Good.
Wow. Cool.
All right. Well, thanks anyway, guys. I appreciate it.
No,
Hey.
sorry for punching you, E. That was bullshit. I
It
shouldn't
was
have done
deserved, but I appreciate it.
Zott Ford is conducting its amazing Key for Key event. Exchange your current vehicle for a brand new Ford without spending a dime out of your pocket. Zott Ford will assist you in terminating the remainder of your loan or your lease, no matter what you owe. This is a straight Key for Key exchange. Give Zott the keys to your vehicle, and they'll give you the keys to a brand new Ford. Plus, Zott Ford will make your first payment. Please hurry, though. This is a limited time event.
Hey, I don't know if you saw this a few weeks ago, Jay. It was a couple weeks ago when Coach Harbaugh, you're familiar with
Lord Harbaugh.
Yeah, Michigan Harbaughs.
Yeah.
And Coach Harbaugh was going off about the locker room facilities on the road in the Big Ten.
Yeah, was it Iowa or no?
Purdue.
Yeah,
I think
because
it-
they didn't have an X-ray machine available.
Yeah,
and-
for Wilton Speight when
Right.
he got crushed. Are you surprised by that? Like some of the stories that have come out, because Spate's parents gave an interview to the Detroit News over the weekend, and we're talking about it. They like broke down exactly what happened when Wilton got hit, and then what the medical facilities were like at Purdue in the locker room, and it's rather scary.
Well, I don't know though. Don't they have a medical facility like across the street?
You would think
It's not as if they were having to transport him like 30 minutes away, was it? I thought it was very, very, very close, like right off campus or right on campus. There was a facility to take care of this.
I would think that when you're talking about Big Ten, when you've got like a big conference, schools with the money they're making, the insurance that is had, that if an ambulance needs to be there, an ambulance is there for a
Yeah.
player. Like, it's just kid breaks his neck, and you gotta, that's just.
Yeah,
You don't think so?
I think it's kind of a tweener time frame right now. Like in 5 years, I think they'll have a lot better facilities in terms of X-rays and all.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's that outrageous that a school doesn't have X-ray machines in the visitors' locker room. I just don't.
Or anywhere really that are usable.
Am I wrong? I thought they took him like literally a block down the street to an X-ray machine.
I'll read you what his parents say, but it wasn't. It's more difficult than that. But I was kind of disturbed when we got our tour of the Palace, and we went into the. Remember, he was like, "We can't." There was a game like later that day or the next, so we weren't allowed to go into the main Pistons locker room. But we went into the visitors' locker room, and you can see the coach has written a play on the board and written some inspirational quote or something. And it's
on
just
a whiteboard.
It's on a whiteboard, yeah. And it's just these cramped little these guys are 6'10", they're humongous men, and it's like, yeah, you're a visitor, so go fuck yourself, And it's like, to me, it just seems so petty. Like you would think you would have sort of decent facilities just out of respect for each other. Obviously, they don't, and not that the Pistons was gross or dirty or anything, but
And that's
it's
pretty
just
much the standard as far as I always am concerned.
Yeah,
So from what I know, visitors'
probably.
locker rooms in sports, I think that's usually how it is. They're way less fancy than the regular home ones.
Well, Speight, when he got crushed by Purdue, he broke 3 vertebrae in his spine, and so His parents, Bobby and Martha, described the inadequate medical services at the stadium and no system in place to efficiently transport him for further care. Harbaugh talked a couple weeks ago and was kind of, it was because of this, but he was blasting a bunch of the teams that just don't have facilities up to par. They don't have air conditioning.
Was it after a win, so he went ahead and talked to the media?
Yeah,
Got
probably. So anyway, he was noting the lack of air conditioning in the visiting locker rooms and the fact that injured players could not be x-rayed at the stadium. Wilton gets hit and didn't move for a little while, which is a parent's worst nightmare, his dad said. The police took us down, but were unable to open the door. Someone who appeared to be a member of the food staff realized what was going on and let us in. When that door opened, even in high school, I'd been in better visiting locker rooms than this one. It was dark, dingy, dirty. Wilton needed to be transported to a student health care center to be x-rayed. Purdue's original statement claimed there is a basic x-ray available within the athletic footprint. With more sophisticated facilities nearby, both Harbaugh and Speight's parents said that it was their understanding that there was no way for him to be x-rayed at all at the stadium. Michigan and Michigan State have full x-ray capabilities at their stadiums. They also provide police escorts if a player needs to be transported to and from the hospital. It's not clear why Speight wasn't transported directly to a hospital by ambulance. Instead, Wilton sat in the front seat of a van provided by Purdue, driven by a student. The Speight's 2 medical trainers, a doctor, and one other guy, an orthopedic guy from Michigan, they all piled into a van to be transported to the student health clinic. We took off with no escort. We couldn't get through because there are barricades up. The van driver's trying to direct people to move the barricades to get these guys out of there. When they reached the health center, a tech stopped Wilton Speight to ask for proof of insurance before he could proceed with any x-rays. Even though Speight was still wearing his cleats and part of his uniform, and the NCAA requires all member schools to provide athletes insurance specifically for any sort of sports-related injury. The Michigan doctors requested several x-rays, and there was a short delay because of issues putting the x-ray requests in the computer system. The tech was able to get the pictures, but transmission to a satellite facility failed, making it impossible for Michigan doctors to examine the x-rays on a high-res screen. Michigan's team doctors decided he should be transported to a local hospital, but the Purdue officials didn't know which hospital to send him to. All full-time EMS units were dispatched at the time, so a volunteer squad was the only option. They waited 20 minutes for a volunteer squad. They asked how long it would take to arrive at the hospital. 30 to 45 minutes. Our doctor asked him, could we please turn on the siren and make better time? And the rescue squad member said, don't you get smart with me. You said this is a non-vital trip. I don't care what I told you. The boy's has tingling in his legs. Turn the siren on. Let's go. You can imagine as a parent how fucking frustrated you'd be. He was treated, finally given a board for his back, eventually diagnosed with 3 fractured vertebrae in his back. He's not played since, but that's, I don't know.
I guess that doesn't totally shock me. Like I said, I mean, the college athletics, you're kind of like in between this thing where it's like big time money professional thing versus still college sports, and I mean, you would hope it would be better than that, but I guess I'm not totally shocked that you don't have these state-of-the-art facilities on every campus and in every stadium. You've been to some stadiums, right, where you're like, fuck, dude, this is kind of an old piece of shit stadium here.
I would just think for, like, if you were talking about a D2 college, D3, and they don't have those facilities, like, I mean, I wouldn't expect them to, but when you're talking about Purdue, Iowa, Northwestern, Penn State, all of those big money.
You're shocked I'm not.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm shocked that you're not shocked. Like, as a parent of kids, you would think like, all measures would be taken.
Of course, I'd hope he'd get really, really good treatment really quick.
Yeah.
But I'm just simply not shocked.
Yeah,
that they don't have
maybe I just took
state-of-the-art,
it for granted that,
computer, the ability to transfer these files, via computer so that U of M physicians can look immediately. I'm just not shocked by that.
But okay, well, apart from that's fair. That's fair. I don't expect that they would all have these massive
and then this
$1 million facilities.
This statement, like, we asked them what hospital to go to, and they didn't even know. They're probably like, well, what, there's a couple choices.
Yeah.
But the way they state it, they didn't even know what hospital to send him to.
And you're right. I understand. We're getting one half of the story, but I would think that that an ambulance would just be an automatic on site at a major sporting event. You know what I mean?
Totally.
I would
you see that at high school games.
I would think that taking a kid with tingling in his feet who just got rocked ends up with 3 broken vertebrae in his back in a major college football game wouldn't be sitting shotgun in a van driven by a student asking people to move barricades.
It's shocking to me there's not an ambulance available for him.
Yeah.
That shocks me. The on-site lack of facilities, it just doesn't.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought it was interesting, and it took me by surprise. Maybe that goes on way more than obviously it does. It goes on way more than I realized, but hopefully they make some changes. George W. Bush, H.W. Bush.
Mm-hmm.
I used his "Who's my favorite magician" joke.
I've not tried it yet.
15 times over the weekend, and I kept getting.
Was it hilarious every time?
It was. It lit the room up. But here's the problem: everyone heard us talk about it, and so they all copped the feel on me. They went David Copperfield, and I got my junk grabbed, my ass grabbed 1,000 times. I didn't actually get to cop a feel on anyone. I did it to Beth. We took Jerry down to the Heidelberg Project, and I was like, "Oh, by the way, do you know who my favorite magician is?" And she looks at me, she goes, "David Copperfield," and just grabbed.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was like, holy shit. She goes, "Yeah, I listened. I heard."
What was Jerry's reaction to all the polka dots and like stapled babies?
He loved it. He loved it.
Look at the baby stapled to the log.
My. This is definitely art. Whoever says this isn't art is just wrong. This is art. Yeah, he thought it was wonderful. Wonderful. He loved it. He loved the DIA too.
I think he didn't love it.
Dude, he had a blast in Detroit. He really did. He made friends, and he's like, "Make sure you call these guys if you think I did a good job and you want more of Jerry on the Detroit cast. And if I'm not on there enough, make sure you call and tell him it's unacceptable."
He wants to be a regular feature, huh?
Dude, he totally wants to be a regular feature.
Dude, one last note, and we won't talk Jerry the whole time, but Stacy, who was there, if you went to the event, you saw a woman walking around with a quality camera taking pictures. She is from Stacy Fine Art and Design. She's a listener, does great work. And she set up a website with those pictures. So you can go and peruse those.
They came out great.
Yeah, there's really some great pictures of people with Jerry. So you can grab those. And those will be under, I'm going to post those on the show post today and also under extras. So if you go under our Interact tab at DetroitCast.com, you'll see an extra
There'll be a link,
and you'll see it there.
Do you want to read the link out now for people that are really quick?
No, I don't.
No? Okay. I know it was a little lengthy, but so hopefully everyone got that. It'll be in today's show post and in under the extras tab. And they're mostly pictures of all of you out there who took pictures with us and with Jerry. So go check them out. You can easily print them off and whatever. So, and thank you to Stacy. She drove a long way to come do that. I did not expect her to work all night, which she did, and took some great pictures. But anyway, George H.W. Bush, a third woman has now come out.
Of course she has.
Oh, dude.
It's chronic.
She's claiming of inappropriate touching, too. Christina Klein says her encounter happened during a photo shoot in 2014. She and her husband stood on either side of the former president. She's the author of the novels Orphan Train and A Piece of the World. She writes that upon learning she was a writer, Bush asked, "You want to know what my favorite book is?" Yeah, what is it? David Copperfield.
Yeah.
Dude.
Wow. I mean, at that point, just go with the magician again. Like this notion.
Yeah, why are we going Dickens? Why are we going deep into literature here? Why not just go magician?
Well, what if he said that? My favorite author, and
someone
then she went, "Who's that?" And he stood up and like,
Dickens!
Dickens!
Woo!
Dickens! You!
Now that'd be different. 'cause
Problem
at
is he
least it'd
can't
Now, that'd
stand
be
up.
funny.
He can't stand up.
He can stand up. He's faking.
Mike's declared
Dude,
the former president
David
is faking.
Does that go to his like mental state though when he says, "Who's my favorite author?" David Copperfield.
Oh, he said favorite author or favorite
Yes.
literary character?
According to her, you want to know my favorite book? Yes. What is it? David Copperfield.
Oh, that's a book. It is a book.
David Copperfield, the book.
David Copperfield is a book?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Really?
Yes. Dickens.
Oh.
That's
okay.
where David Copperfield came up with his name, David
Oh,
Copperfield.
Okay, I got you.
It's a famous literary character. Oh my God.
I was saying, dude, you know I
sons of
barely
bitches.
graduated from middle school. How the fuck am I going to know that? Don't shame me. I thought he was playing on his magic joke again. That's what I thought he was doing.
Oh man.
Yeah, sorry. And I thought it was like, okay, well, that goes to his mental state. He's losing his mind. I was reading about a kid the other day who was going in front of the court, and they deemed him competent to stand trial, right? So they have some people do a mind test on you and voodoo and woo, whatever.
Sure.
And they find out, yeah, this guy's fine. He can stand trial. He knows what's going on. He knows right from wrong. And so this kid is sitting in court in his little suit, And all of a sudden, like, as the jury's in there, the judge and everyone else, he pulls out from his coat a napkin with a giant turd in it.
What?
And just starts mashing
Oh,
his face
God.
and tongue and nose with
Wow.
it.
Oh.
And the judge is like, yeah, jury, please get out of the room, please.
God.
And he's just sitting there with shit all over his face. And he's
God.
like, and so now they're like, well, I guess we're going to have to get the
Reevaluate.
Reevaluate. And it's like, is he a
second
genius?
opinion on that one?
All right, motherfuckers, you want to say I ain't crazy? I'll show you crazy. Wipe my own shit
Pretty
in my own
extreme,
mouth.
right?
Dude, that's balls. They assume he went into during a bathroom break, shit into a napkin, just kind of put it in where your kerchief would go, and then just calmly pulled it out.
Just carrying a turd. You carry a turd.
Not anymore.
Don't you think you would smell that in the like you'd be sitting
Yeah,
there, a
man.
fresh turd in a
Yeah.
napkin in
Yes.
your kerchief thing? Like you would think the lawyer sitting next to you would just be like, oh, dude, did you shit on yourself? Like
Yeah.
what's going on here?
Do you need to be excused so we can re-wipe?
And so, anyway, going back to H-Dub. So, as soon as he delivered Copperfield, you know what he did. He grabbed her buttocks just as she snapped the photo, and she quickly slapped his hand away. Later, a female friend of the Bush family asked her to be discreet about the incident, please, if you would. When they called, so when this came out in the Slate, is where this story was told.
Yeah.
So when the Slate editors reached out to Bush's people, his spokesman, Jim McGrath, again, was like, yeah, we gave a statement the other day when the second bitch came forward. It stands.
Ditto. McGrath goes, ditto.
You heard the one I gave on Thursday. Ditto. Basically, at age 93, he's confined to a wheelchair. His hand has to be at ass level, so deal with it. To try to put people at ease, he tells the same joke, and on occasion, he's patted a butt of a woman or two in what is intended to be good-natured manner. So, some have seen it as innocent, others clearly view it as inappropriate, and anyone he's offended, he apologizes most deeply.
Well, Dr. Tommy wrote in. You said it's like a medical thing that you've heard from nurses.
Oh, no,
that,
are you gonna?
No, he says in dementia there is a concept of inappropriate sexual behavior. Well, I would argue there's that concept outside the context of dementia as well.
Sure.
But apparently this is within dementia that this happens. Essentially, this is characterized by a loss of control in regard to sexual instinct, often resulting in inappropriate sexual comments and behaviors, grabbing, touching, groping, exposing, masturbating, etc.
Oh, boy.
Why does this happen? One, humans are inherently sexual. If we weren't, there would be no drive to procreate. Number two, the frontal lobe of the brain, often affected in dementia, is responsible for inhibition. The frontal lobe is a simplified understanding of the brain, allows us to learn social norms and act in a manner that society interprets as, quote, appropriate. Number three, degeneration of this area of the brain leads to social and sexual disinhibition. This is a spectrum. It depends on the amount of damage to the brain. On the mild end, perhaps an elderly male makes sexually charged comments or jokes to a female, believing that it's appropriate, possibly grabs, gropes as a result of the primal sexual drive. With severe damage, congenital dementia syndrome, significant trauma, multiple stroke, possible CTE, this can be exhibited in a severe way, forceful attempts at penetrative intercourse,
Oh, wow.
public exposure of genitals, public masturbation, viewing porn in public, and highly aggressive verbal sexual advances, among others.
Maybe I have dementia.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Inappropriate sexual behavior is actually also present outside the context of dementia,
Right,
as
right.
you know. But yeah, it's a thing, I guess. So there's
Yeah.
a variety of areas of the
Told ya.
brain that can be affected and damaged. And
I said basically the exact same thing that you
Yeah.
just read off. I said that exactly, almost verbatim. But no, Dr. Tommy says it, and all of a sudden it's good for you now.
yeah, kind of.
I said the same thing. I said, I don't know, Grandpa got a little touchy and weird, and
Yeah.
they said, yeah, it's normal.
Yeah.
Happens. He's
I
old as shit.
heard it was normal. I'm not a doctor, but
said
somebody said it's normal.
He's going to grab a butt. There's nothing you can do about it. It's normal.
Thank God we have Dr. Tommy.
Oh, isn't that great to have
Yeah.
on call like that?
Oh.
He's on call with the hospital and the Detroit cast.
Picture him with a big beeper.
Can we get him a pager and just send it to him?
Just dials beeper number.
Oh, man. Yeah. No, that's funny. I was going to say something about that. About old codgers, Cop and Fields. Oh, what was that, sir? I don't think we ever did it, but I think you maybe sent me an email about it, or maybe E did, and it had that 110-year-old woman or something, and she was being interviewed on the local news, little black woman. She was 101 or 110 or
Yeah.
something, and it's like, what do you want for your birthday? I want some dick. Do you remember that? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No,
And she
I
kept
don't.
saying, I want some dick. You're going to give me some dick.
Are you sure that's what she was saying?
Yes, that's what she was saying. Do you remember what I'm talking about, E?
I don't, but
That's awesome, man.
I don't know if
And it's like,
this is said. This says that that's what it is.
There she is. Okay. 100-year-old woman talks dicks with news reporter.
how's your dick hanging? See if you can find, while this is playing, E, see if you can find an uncensored one, because I've heard uncensored ones.
Okay. Shit.
But go ahead, this one looks like it's
How
gonna
your dick hanging?
Let's talk about your birthday real quick.
No, it's good.
You shocking your great grandchildren. I want you to
How's your dick hanging?
All of my great grand.
Can you answer this question for me? How does it feel to be 100?
I feel like a lemon no mint squares.
What?
You feel like what?
A lemon no mint squares.
Okay. And how many
Good response.
You want another 100, right?
Oh yeah, I want 100 and 100.
What was that again?
So what are you doing to celebrate your birthday?
Huh?
What you doing to celebrate your birthday?
Give me a piece of dick.
Oh, shit.
Oh, Nana. Give me a piece of dick.
See, that's just a sassy old lady, though.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah. She knows what she's doing.
Yeah, I think so.
She's playing to the room. Dude, she keeps doing it.
She's just used to getting laughs, though, you know?
Yeah. Was Nana like this in the end for your Nana, E?
No.
Your Nana?
Actually, that's not true. 1 second.
Oh my.
The rest of the family has to come to her and be like, okay, we'll get you some dick, but just let's try to do this.
Get through the interview, Nana.
Stop talking about dick, Nana.
It's fine.
It's fine. Don't go hiding now. You done ran to the back.
Look at her.
Look at that poops.
And we know it's a woman because she has a pink thing on her head.
course.
You know? She's been identified with jewelry and a pink thing on her head.
Yep.
So what does it mean to you to make it to 100?
One dick.
Oh, boy.
One dick. She's bargaining. One dick.
She's got her routine down, man.
You guys get it.
All I got to
you
say
get
is
the point.
dick, and
How's your dick hanging?
the room erupts.
Yeah.
You know, I will say my grandma was not to not talk about dicks at the end,
But
but like no, but I do remember.
balls hanging?
There was something, one of the last times that she was actually kind of knowing what was going on that I saw her. I don't remember, but she was someone who would make jokes, like, to the nurses and shit. And I wish I could remember what the joke was now, because I do remember her last... Well, I don't remember it, but
that's
I remember
good
her
to know.
making it.
Nana had a sense of humor till the end.
Oh, dude. Yeah. With
absolutely-
what we know about Nana's, I mean, starting in bad acts, I mean, it just...
She's always
all
playing
took
tricks on people.
Yeah. Absolutely. I was reading this article today. I think it was in the news. It might have been USA Today. Free per USA Today. Is American Airlines for everyone?
Yeah.
Travel stories raise questions of racial discrimination. I hate these stories. These. Let me put half a story that makes no fucking sense down here, and then we can just inflame people by it.
Let everybody tweet it around.
Right? Did you read this? Are
I
you
saw it
familiar
being
with
tweeted around. I didn't read it.
It's infuriating because the account that's getting... I've seen people do this where it's like, I'm a third party over here and I watched what developed, and that guy's an asshole. That guy was a total dick the whole time. It's indisputable. And inevitably that guy's going to come over and go, can you believe that fucking guy? What a bunch of shit. I was just trying to offer him a beer, and all of a sudden he fucking punched me. What a dick. And you're like, yeah, that's not exactly what happened, sir. Not exactly. And so that's kind of the feel I get when I'm reading this, and I'm like, is this just sent out with half a fucking side to piss people off so we can tweet this stuff around? Is that the point? Maybe? Because I don't think American Airlines makes their business by just going racially discrimination. Like an international company, major corporation is going to just be like racist, and so we need to pull them down? I don't know, man. So anyway, we got Tamika Mallory, and anybody who's like one of these what community organizers or social
justice warrior.
Yeah, I immediately just go, okay, well, you're seeking stuff out.
Something strategist. That's
Yes.
also a good one.
Yes. Your job depends on finding something for people to get up about. So she was the Outspoken Women's March co-founder. She was beside Breonna Williams. Over the weekend, they had some other woman's, I don't know, pink hat, pussy hat, something or other. I don't even know what they're bitching about. But she's with Breonna Williams, 24-year-old, third-year Harvard Law School student. And meeting for the first time, the women shared common experiences. Both were booted off American Airlines flights and incidents they allege involved discrimination.
Now I got you.
Mallory's story and other complaints led the NCAA last week to issue a travel advisory warning people about flying on American. Williams plans to sue next week. Williams gave this account of the trouble that started on August 21st after a 5-hour flight delay on the tarmac. The pilot ordered all passengers off the plane. Williams asked for the stroller that she'd checked at the gate. When she got on, she had to check the stroller. Can I get that first? She was Evelyn, her daughter was 4 months old at the time and needed to be held with both arms. So she had brought 3 bags with her. You're seeing this is just not possible to carry all this. She needs the stroller. So she asked for a little bit of help. At first, the flight attendant seemed willing to help her get that stroller, but then she comes and says, no, you can't have your stroller. Why?
She realized she was black.
Yeah, exactly. We're unable to. That's why. And she walked away. Williams just stayed put. Didn't say anything. It was just like, oh, I'm just going to stay put.
Just know that all white people are fucking devils.
The flight attendant got the pilot to intervene. Well, intervene in what? She just told you that, walked away, and you stayed put. So what is the pilot intervening for? I'm thinking she's going to get him to ameliorate.
Yeah.
What is that? Am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah.
Fucking Harvard people. The situation, or that he's going to check and ask why the stroller couldn't be retrieved at the gate. Instead, he comes to me and he says, you need to get off my flight.
Just know that all white people are fucking devils.
I said, excuse me? I'm sorry.
I'm just trying to carry all my things on board.
I'll leave if I can just get the stroller. And he says, listen, if you don't get off my flight, I'm going to call law enforcement on you to get off my flight.
FWB, flying while black.
Yeah. He then began asking Williams, like, who are you? Who do you work for? Because this sounds like a totally legit conversation that people will be having, right? This isn't...
Very reasonable.
Very reasonable. I told him I don't have to answer questions like that. I just need the stroller so I could leave the plane at this time. Another passenger, another black woman interjects, because the other black woman can see clearly this is a racial discrimination case unfolding in front of her. Hey, you can't talk to her this way. She's a human being. You have to treat people with respect. She's done nothing wrong. He looks at her. He points in her face. Says, you want to talk back to me? You're going to be next. Get off my plane!
Just know that all white people are fucking devils.
Like, what is he, like an umpire over here? It's like, no, you're out of here. Like,
You want to go? Get off my plane!
Anyone else? Anyone else?
The lady starts kicking dirt on him.
She looked very embarrassed and just walked off the plane. End of incident, right? Law enforcement then intervenes for some reason. I don't know what that would be. They're talking to me. They're asking me what's wrong. And the pilot runs over to me and says, this woman is a threat to me. She is belligerent. I need her off the flight. And she can't get back on when the other people board. He's going on. And they cut and they say, whoa, whoa, whoa. The cops now are going to the pilot. She's done nothing wrong here. But pilot, you're being unreasonable. She's done nothing wrong. This girl has just been standing here. She's compliant. We're just looking to get her a stroller. According
That's
to that,
really astounding.
the police said to her. Minutes later, she had the stroller, but was not allowed back on the plane. She and her daughter had to stay the night at the airport and were rebooked on a morning flight. Everybody, everyone agreed it's the best word. It's the best school. Everyone was apologizing profusely. And they all said ultimately it's up to the pilot's discretion about who's able to go on a plane or not. Mallory's American Airlines incident took place in October when she tried to check in for a flight at the check-in kiosk in Miami. The machine gave her the option to change her seat. I moved from a middle seat to an aisle seat. I gave my ticket to the gate agent to be checked, and when she scanned in my ticket, the system popped out a new ticket. She ripped up my original, took the new ticket, but it had the old seat placement. And she said, sorry, ma'am, look at the ticket. There's something wrong here. The seats are different. I just changed the seat. Mallory said she is a platinum-level frequent flyer in American. She asked the agent to try your best to change it back to the other one on the aisle. The gate agent was dismissive, rude, and kept telling me, I don't know what happened. And she asked me, well, did you pay to change the seat? I said, actually, I'm a platinum member. I get to move around. It doesn't cost me anything. She laughed and said, well, someone who paid for that seat probably got your seat. The pilot walks out at the tail end of the conversation.
Berate, sir. Let me guess. Just berate, sir.
She eventually relented, though, and taking the ticket for the middle seat in the row, she headed down to the jetway to board the plane. As they get down to the end of the jet bridge, the pilot comes down. He tells a few other people who are coming down behind me to get back. He wanted to speak to me alone. Respect is a two-way street, lady.
Bag up, bag up.
She told you she did not know why your seat was changed or that she didn't have anything to do with your seat being changed. So what's your problem? So I say to him, I don't have a problem. I find it a little bit unreasonable that you would walk in on the tail end of a conversation and then come to me and start talking about respect, and you haven't asked me what happened. I don't have to ask you anything. She already told me what happened. And I said, wow, so as a platinum customer, I don't get to explain my experience? The pilot called for another flight attendant to join the conversation and make her promise face-to-face with this other one that she'll behave. So she has to tell this. So I said, there's not going to be any problems on this flight. I look at her, I say, ma'am, you and I don't have a problem at all. I'm going to go to my seat. I'm going to behave. I'm going to sit down and do all the things that I'm supposed to do. We have no issues.
Why don't you level with me then?
I've looked into the eyes of this woman. I'd let her know we're good. Everything is good. As I'm walking out of the plane, I kind of look back, and he looked at me. You're going to get yourself a one-way ticket off this flight.
Wow, if you want to pin it on something, pin it on that.
There's a lot going on here.
It's a lot to unpack.
I didn't say a word because it was clear he was trying to get a reaction out of me. She sat in the middle seat in the row and buckled her seatbelt. 10 or 15 minutes passed. She thought all was well. Then she heard over the intercom,
yeah, we're going to need Cunt Mallory up to the front for a moment.
I got up. I went to the front of the plane. When I got to the door, there was a woman. She said, ma'am, can you please step off the plane? Am I being thrown off the flight? The pilot's walking up at the same time. He looks at me, points at me, says, yeah, her, off. You cunt! Mallory, at that point, she couldn't hold that. Now she's outraged and screaming loudly. I'd been through enough. It was just too much. I dealt with disrespect to begin with. That was just the beginning. Severe disrespect. Then intimidation, isolation, discrimination. I don't have to put up with this. Mallory's not sued the company, but she's not ruling it out either. We'll keep you posted as to where this goes. But she wants some better... she doesn't like this idea that pilots get to say who can and can't fly in their planes without some oversight.
She wants a neutral arbiter.
Yeah. Maybe we can bring Judge Wapner to the front of the plane, and he can sit down, and the pilot and them can go at it.
Each flight can have a neutral arbiter.
Dude, the idea that the pilot doesn't get to say, like, for whatever, the sky's blue, get the fuck off my plane. It's like you don't have a right to just go into this guy's cab.
As if this dude doesn't have more on his mind. You know, the notion that they would just pick fights with people, right? Dude. They just want to get to their destination, get to the next one, do their job.
You know, it is a job for them. That's the thing. I think we don't think a lot of times, because it's a plane, because we're flying, so it's usually like a vacation or business.
They're trying to get through their day, man.
It's their job, too. They're just trying to get...
You don't want to hold it up yelling at a lady for 20 minutes, trying to get her taken off the plane.
Of course not.
Because guess what? Then they're 20 minutes later to another flight, and 20 minutes later to another flight, and another
there's
flight.
Always 20 people on your flight who are taking a connecting flight that's running tight.
Yes,
it's amazing. It's amazing it works out the way it does. The last thing they want to do is have an hour delay to deal with some idiot back in the...
Dude, I was watching...
It's probably like the worst spectacle, disaster at any event I can think of.
And I would have so much... Like, I get it. Like, there are times when I go off on something and I go, yeah, I was kind of a dick there. Yeah, he was being a dick. He's kind of started it, but I got a little hot, too. And
for her to portray that as just like, trying to... Wow, it came out of nowhere. Come on, be honest. You'll have some credibility if you're just like, look, I got a little heated too, but this is why. You know, it was unreasonable the way they approached me.
Yeah, they were kind of blowing me off, and it was kind of shitty. I had my hands full. It had been a long day. I blew my stack a little bit, but he was rude, and there's no excuse for that. I'm the customer, whatever. But then you could at least go, all right, something happened there. It's probably a mixture of both. But laying that horse shit out as a story, both of those stories, that's not what happened.
Hard to believe.
I'm not saying they weren't kicked off flights. They probably were. But that what they laid out is not how that incident happened. That's my argument.
I would agree with that.
You would? I thought you would.
Hey, Hamlin Pub, we've mentioned it several times today. Let's mention it one more. They have 5 locations: Clarkston, Chesterfield, Rochester, 2 in Shelby Township. Hamlin Pub offers a wide selection of craft beers, most of which are brewed right here in Michigan. They have great happy hour specials Monday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m., half off appetizers on Monday. Check out all their specials. All 5 locations. Go to HamlinPubs.com for more info.
I know we've talked about this, and not that it's a shock to anybody, but I did recently on Netflix watch a documentary on airports and like how all that goes into making
I saw
your
that. Is that good? I haven't watched that.
Yes, dude. It's like,
what is it called? City in the Sky or something?
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
And it's like
getting it all to work.
Just don't even think about it, dude. You put your bag, you go there, you say, here's my flight, and here's your bag, and all that goes in from that until they kind of go through this thing where he says, like, literally from here until you get in your seat, this is what happens. And it's like, holy shit. Like, we know it, but you just don't think about it. And at any given point, I forget what it says, but how many people are in the sky
Yeah.
at any given point? It's like
Thousands of
millions.
flights.
Yes. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
that's what was so remarkable about that map that I'm sure everyone's seen it, like on 9/11 at 9 o'clock in the morning, and it's like the sky is just covered with streaks of where these planes are going, and then by
Going up and going down.
just going up and down. They have to pump the brakes.
Making that arc, going up and going down.
You know what?
And it's covered the whole country, and then as they started going, get the planes out of the sky, get the planes out of the sky, all planes on the ground, and George Bush's was the only plane left in the sky, and it's like that, seeing that empty map. It's crazy. It's a crazy picture.
I have to say, by the way, I can't believe this happened, and probably nobody heard it because this was in the wee hours of the night. But I invited 2 comic buddies, as I mentioned, that I know from Grand Rapids, and they talked with me for a while. But they brought a friend that they didn't tell me. They're just like, oh, this guy showed up with them, which whatever. He seemed very cool, very nice. His name was Clay. There was
I like Clay.
There was an actual discussion at about 2 in the morning about whether the Earth is flat or not, and he believed it.
Oh, fuck.
What?
Clay believes that the Earth is flat, possibly.
Which one was Clay?
The
guy sitting in your
No,
seat?
no,
Yeah.
no. Which one was Clay?
the African American.
Oh, okay. All right. I knew there was one guy with a beard.
Yeah.
One guy with maybe a shorter beard and a black guy. So
Yep.
I'm just trying to get
Yeah,
a picture.
Clay was
so
the-
Clay, who I thought was very nice, actually.
No, they were. Yeah, he did seem very nice, but
he thinks he was fucking with
unless he was just being an asshole. But there was a real discussion for about 10 to 15 minutes at one point about the Earth and whether it's flat or not. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, the flat earthers sent a tweet out recently, and people were busting on it, saying something like, "People all around the globe know that the world is flat," and people are like, "Take that in, folks. Just think about
Yeah.
that statement for
It's
a second."
It's a thing now, man. It's a thing.
I think people are fucking with people.
I think there's people who are buying it.
He seemed like, honestly, I hope he was just trying to be funny, but he seemed like he believed it, and he seemed like a really nice dude. I just met him for the first time. The rest of the show, that I had him there, considering he doesn't even do comedy or anything. He was just there. He did pretty well. He held his own, I felt, for that situation. But
how do you shake that though after
I
learning
don't
that?
know.
Like, how do you look at the guy and go, "Fuck, this guy thinks the world's flat"? But yeah, he's got a
his
good
other
point on the
idea.
other thing. No, you can't.
No.
Lost all credibility.
Yeah, gone, done. All right, let's take a quick break.
Sure.
Come back and service animals. Jay, you're a big fan of service animals.
You know, on planes. Are we going back to the planes?
Dude, fake service animals.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love animals. I love poops, but
remember that one when I was in LaGuardia on
Yeah.
Facebook Live, and Mike told me to make sure to go ask this girl what her dog was for, and she just said anxiety.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, any kind of particular anxiety? Just anxiety.
Yeah.
anxiety.
Well, so you want to bring your dog in a flame.
She's probably got a weed card for the same reason. You know.
Exactly. We'll discuss that and more next.
The Detroit Cast continues after this short break. The Detroit Cast continues now, bitches. Here's Mike and Jay.
All right, welcome back to the Detroit Cast, powered by DealsInTheD.com. And wanted to mention really quick, you were taking, what was the deal, $30 donations. Right now, the first 15 get a tissue pack signed by Jerry from the Jets.
Yeah, $30 or more gets you a tissue pack. I have 13 left. 2 have actually already gone since the show started, which is great.
Okay.
I'm not friends with everybody on social network, believe it or not, so and stuff like that. And they don't give you an email. This is through SOS. So if you could please, I know it's an extra step, but if you please, if you do one of these tissues, if you could email me at eric@detroitcast.com with your address.
ERIC@detroitcast.com. Just let them know, hey, I'm Peggy so-and-so. I donated $30. And
right.
Because the first 15 that do
get a tissue, and I'm going to send it to
you.
them.
Will send it to you.
So, yeah, if you could. I know it's an extra step, but it's kind of how it has to be. So.
Sure. Okay, that just helps us identify you, that's all. I mentioned service animals.
Yeah.
Service animals. And this is something that's bothered me for a while.
It's getting out of control. Chickens, boa constrictors, all sorts of shit.
Pigs,
People
monkeys.
are just trying not to stow their pets.
What I don't understand
You're
is...
talking about on a plane, right?
On a plane,
Anywhere.
in a store,
Okay.
yeah, anywhere. There's just not much oversight or regulation to this, so it's kind of the wild, wild west thing. And so people are like, if someone claims to have some sort of disability, it's not polite to ask them, well, what are we talking about?
And how does that boa constrictor help you?
Right. You're not supposed to gauge what they're going through. How dare you? And so we're left to just be like, oh, okay, sure, your Great Dane can come in the store and fucking shit all over the floor, and just be like, well, they got a disability. And it's giving, this will change eventually, but I don't understand how this happens because there are so many people and people close to me that have severe allergies. I mean, severe, will die if they, get too close to a peanut. Mm-hmm. Like, there are real precautions that take place with people where it's like, if you even have a dog, you're basically going into bodysuits before you can get near these kids. And so I don't understand how it's just like, oh yeah, that's my dog, it's my support dog, it sits here on the plate. It's like, well, there have to be a handful of people who are absolutely allergic as shit to dogs. What about them?
It's one of those, how do we all get along? How are everyone's interests, taken care of? It's the same with the bathroom issue, right?
You drive until you can get over your fear of flights. How about that?
Right.
How about we do that where we inconvenience one instead of the whole? That's what we used to do.
The fucked up person.
Dude. You know what, dude? I'm deathly afraid of flights. I can't do it. I need an emotional support dog. Well, yeah, we're not going to do that. It's ridiculous. No, you drive then. Get a 3-day head start on us. We'll meet you there. Yeah, there's all kinds of ways to do it.
Do you think it'll change? Like, do you think there's regulations coming?
Because one of these dogs is going to seriously hurt someone. Going to hurt a kid, or a kid with a real bad allergy is going to get really, really sick, and it's going to outrage everybody. And then what we do as a nation is we don't foresee that, which is inevitable. We react. We wait till the terrorist blows something up, and then we react, and then we all take our shoes off at the airport. Now I feel safe. Yep, all fixed now. So anyway, Chris Slavin, he was in an elevator a couple years ago with Earl. Earl's a good boy, and his yellow lab service dog sitting beside her wheelchair. The doors open, and in walks a woman holding a purse. In the purse is a teacup poodle. The doors close just as the poodle spots Earl, leaps in an instant. The poodle leaps from the purse and latches on and clamps with its teeth into the fucking snout of Earl.
Little son of a bitch.
Yeah, what are you doing, dude? Yeah. And so Earl's bleeding on the floor. As soon as this occurred, the woman said, it's my service dog. It's my service poodle. Slavin, who has a severe spinal injury that requires the use of a wheelchair, says she then said he wasn't a service dog, but an emotional support dog. And then finally she admitted, all right, I just wanted to bring my doggy into the place. Sorry about the snout biting and all that. Today, any pet owner can go online, buy a vest for a dog to pass it off as a service animal to gain access to restaurants, hotels, places of business. Their animals aren't trained and end up misbehaving in these public places, which gives real service dogs a bad name. Duh. Service dogs, which are trained to perform tasks for a person with a disability, were first used by police or people with vision and hearing impairments. They're now used by those who have wheelchairs or have any other impairment or mobility issues. People who are prone to seizures or need to be alerted to medical conditions. But because there's no certification or official national registry of legit service dogs, there's no way to verify whether a dog has undergone rigorous training to become a service animal. It makes it hard to enforce the laws, says David. And I don't know if this is, he spells his name the same as Favre, but is it, I want to call him Favre.
Wow, yeah.
I don't know what you do there.
I've never seen anyone else name that.
I haven't either. I mean, what do you guys, I mean, in your professional
Any
opinion?
relation? I think you go Favre.
Do you?
That's
I mean,
the only way that we know that.
I have to say, if I'm him, there's no. I don't. Some
You're
people
going
want,
Favre.
No, see, I would not, because personally, I don't like that notion that you're. Because then I would
Dude.
just assume people are making you call me Favre. Like, I think. Like,
yeah, but you, if you're Don Favre,
There'd be an
can't you go-
assumption you're related, like you're some
Yeah.
kind of big guy.
I'm
or
telling
Yeah,
you
had a
this-
big injury, but yeah,
Okay.
me and Brett used to throw the ball around a lot. You could pull third-rate pussy off.
That's all well and good, Mike. If you walk around to me and I just meet you and I see your last name, they're like, oh, is that Favre? No, nope, Favre. I'm like, I'm going to other guys and be like, look at this asshole calling himself Favre.
So
well, we've never encountered Favre before.
no,
though,
I've never
right?
heard Favre before. It's missing a vowel or something.
It's not like Bobby Abear, who
Yeah,
was
okay.
clearly Herbert or Hebert, whatever
Yes.
it was.
And don't even get me started on that Wayne Fontes bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, there's instance.
Fontes. I mean, we've seen one instance of Favre.
Right.
And that's how it's been pronounced. It's not like there's this whole
history of
segment of the population that
Yeah.
goes by Favre.
Right. Where it's like 30% go by Favre and 70% Favre. Like, dude, we've got one example,
One.
and now we're running into the second.
Here's the second.
All right, we're
It's
going
Favre.
Favre.
It's Favre.
All right, Don Favre it is.
Give it up to him.
All right. Or David, excuse me. David Favre. He's a professor somewhere at Michigan State. People who pass off their dogs as service animals in order to take them into all these places are the real problem. A service animal is trained to be in public and to be under control and non-intrusive and not bark. They are trained not to be a nuisance in any way. Poops would make a good service animal.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean? Because she checks off all the
Yeah.
boxes there.
Don't put any important business documents
I
in here.
don't bark. I'm not intrusive.
Oh,
I'm
my
under
gosh.
control. I'm in no way a nuisance.
The
no
most
way.
unruly, by definition,
No way.
a nuisance.
I am not a nuisance. I am not a nuisance. You should hardly even know they're there.
Dude,
Poops.
Right, like back in the day when we were kids, rarely, but you'd see like a blind dude with a fucking service dog, and they're right, man. That Poops was so well behaved and he'd
Yes.
gone
They're
through rigorous
legitimately
training.
trained. Now,
Yeah.
when you can just say, well, I
Service
need it.
dog.
Because of Earl's training as a service dog, when the poodle attacked him, my dog never moved,
Turned the
never
other cheek.
retaliated.
He's like Jesus.
Never barked. He did nothing. This is the way a service dog is trained. They are not going to ever be aggressive, ever. 4 on the floor.
Trained to be Jesus.
Yep. Earl performs many functions. He picks up items that she drops. He retrieves keys. I can open doors.
And he's overall just a good guy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I don't fight back. I don't care. I turn the other cheek. That's what I was trained to do. 4 on the floor at all times. I can even put objects like library books on the counter for you.
Wait a minute.
I can return change or credit cards to her
Change?
after purchases. Yes.
I don't know that I'd trust my Poops to put change in his mouth and then dispel it properly. I'd be worried that...
He's just passing it. It's not like he's counting it. And then
I understand. I'd just be worried he would swallow the quarter on accident.
No way.
And dead Earl.
Never
you know?
happened. Absolutely not. I'm very well trained. I know how to handle change.
4 on the floor. How does he walk?
4 on the floor. His hands on the
He
floor.
shuffles. He skates. He gets pulled.
I know. I'm just
He
saying.
just
Like he
stands,
does by.
he stands and they pull
Am I
him by
wrong
his
to
legs.
walk? I believe he has to have at least one leg off the floor.
Service dogs receive up to 2 years of training, people, which can cost up to and more than $40,000.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Well, no wonder people are shirking that.
That's before they're placed with their... Yeah, they're trying to bypass the
I'm not
$40,000.
paying $40K. I'm just gonna have my man Chipper here be my guy.
Hey, you're gonna have to deal with a few barks. I'm sorry, I ain't paying $40,000. So, anyways, so before they're placed with their new owners, they're often required to live at the training center for a week. The people that are gonna take ownership, they have to live with the Poops for a week in the house to make sure they get along, and they learn how to care and interact with their dogs. The waiting time for a service dog is often more than 2 years. But for people who want to pass off their pet as a service dog, it's easy. And to be convincing, anyone can go online for about $20. You can buy these little orange vests that look legit. No one's going to question them. They may be fake service dogs, but they gain entry But it's their behavior that gives them away immediately.
Yeah, right. They're dicks. They're just normal dick dogs.
They're dogs, yeah.
This is like what I don't get. I totally get why you wouldn't want to stow your dog on a plane and you'd rather have it sit with you,
Sure.
on the plane with you. I totally get why people are passing that shit off and, oh, it's my boa constrictor and I need him. He's my service snake. But why, if you're just going to like Bell Tire, why are you having to take your dog in, man? Leave your fucking dog at home.
I know, and there are a lot of people that do it. I see it all the time.
What is going on in the person's head?
I think they care so much about their dog. Like, it used to just be, it was like, dude, here's some food on the ground. I'm going to take you out before I go to work, and then I'll be back in, like, I don't know, next week. I'll be back in a few days. Dude.
Yeah.
Like,
this isn't like an infant that you have to care for 24/7.
I'm obviously exaggerating, but, dude, it was common for people to be gone for 14 hours. And if you came home, you'd have to rub his face in the shit.
Yeah.
Remember? Well, you did what you had to do.
You couldn't hold it, huh?
But you don't have to go every 2 hours and let them go tinkle. Like, they're fully
able and you don't have to
go.
give it a hug all day long either, right?
I wouldn't go that far. Let's not get crazy here.
I just don't. Do you get that? Like, why would
Not
people
at
like
all, dude.
need to take it to McDonald's or
I have
take it
it's
to the
what Mike
library
said.
and shit?
It's what Mike said. The reality is, look, I love poops. I really do, and that I like petting them. I love Tony,
Yeah, I like you
obviously. But people are getting to the point where it's like they treat them so much. They're like kids, and they need them in their mind. Like Mike said, they need them everywhere.
like a child.
And you know what? Pets are a pain in the ass. That's the reality.
That's not true. That's a lie. That's a lie.
All
I want to do is
Total
eat brown
life burden.
circles and lick
You're
faces.
talking about kids
I
being
lick
life burdens.
faces
They
and
never
eat
grow
brown-
up.
No,
I was just gonna say
no,
that.
that's not true.
They're a life burden that never grows up.
They're in a
and now you have
constant
dog.
state of toddler.
I have friends. This is why I'll never get a dog. I have these
You
friends.
humans make me sick. You guys think you're all better than everybody else.
I have these friends. They're really nice.
We
friends
share
of
the
mine.
same planet, jerks.
They're really nice friends of mine. But every time they go to Grand Rapids regularly, or they want to go out for an evening, and if they go to Grand Rapids, they have to stay at this Red Roof Inn, which is a crappier place because it's cheaper and allows dogs. And they have to bring their dogs. So we're going to see a concert, and they have to have dogs in a hotel room.
Oh, that's awful.
So that's what it
At
is.
least you get your best friend to go with you.
So if that's the situation you're in, you're going to walk with your stupid dog in there instead of leaving at home because he's an asshole dog and he's going to tear shit up.
So basically, you can
stereotyping. You're
Yes.
stereotyping. Racist.
Okay, got it.
Trained service dogs don't go off leash, bark, knock things off shelves, jump on people, play or fight with other dogs, or grab food off the tables. Those ones that are trained for 40 grand for 2 years don't do those things, which I still think Izzy could be in line for some of that, for most of
my
that.
God.
Little tweak here, little tweak there. She does a little table surfing from time to time, but, we could get her off that.
Yeah, what would happen if we opened that door and just let Izzy run down? What would happen?
We tested that on
Yeah, we
Thursday.
tested it on Thursday, and
Bear almost ripped the board apart.
Oh, Bear was here?
Oh,
yes.
yeah. Bear and Izzy at the
Dude,
same
it was
time.
a tornado.
Jerry
underneath
with Jerry
him.
here. In his sling.
Dude, for real, Bear was
Was
under
he
here.
concerned?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He was fine.
Your mic even got disconnected.
Oh my god.
Did I sat
Oh, that's
down.
why my cough button was on the floor.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
my
bear.
gosh. My important
Bear.
business documents were probably
No
disheveled.
documents
I
were
noticed.
harmed. No documents were harmed in the making of that telethon.
Only a pillow.
Yeah, right. Owners of real service dogs don't carry them in shopping carts or purses. The rule is 4 on the floor, with all 4 feet on the ground, except when a dog is performing a task. Period.
Do we have Paris Hilton to blame partly for
Yes,
this too?
yes. Dude, that's the name that pops in my
Her
head
little
too.
fucking Tinkerbell that
Yes.
she carried around, that little chihuahua.
The American with Disabilities Act, you're familiar with that because your law work, I'm sure you had to deal with
Oh yeah,
plenty of claims using that.
that's a big one.
So the American with Disabilities Act requires all places open to the public to give access to service dogs and their owners. It permits them to ask only 2 questions: whether the dog is required because of a disability and what tasks the dog is trained to perform. It is illegal to request documentation for the dog or to ask the nature of the owner's disability.
I didn't realize that was a component of the ADA. That's interesting.
Yeah. That seems like by the second part of that sentence.
Sounds like they
can
need,
ignore it.
They need to revise this.
Yeah. Someone needs to look at this. There's another complication: the growing use of emotional support dogs. And these are the ones that are most frustrating to me.
That's completely gray area. Who's gonna,
Yeah.
How do you say what I need emotionally?
Well, they say that they're not covered under the ADA and can legally be denied access, but you can't ask what your disability is. So you see where the loophole comes in. You go, it's not your
Around
business.
and around we go.
Yes, it's a big giant hole. The National Disability Rights Network is sympathetic to those who want to crack down on pet owners who misrepresent their dogs as service animals. But Ken says laws should aim to educate rather than punish. We don't want to shame anybody. We want to have a positive impact on people to help them realize what they've done, and this has a negative impact.
No. We don't want to shame anybody. We don't want to put anybody on the spot. If it looks funny, we go over and say,
I'm never going to hear those drops the same now that he's been here.
Yeah,
like,
I
it's
know,
just,
right?
they were just drops from this dude on the phone, and now it's like, I've seen him, I've met him, I've hung out with him.
Picture his face and his facial expressions.
And he was...
No, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I was just going to wrap up on that. You're ruining what could have been a decent thing. You know, it's the way it happens. People find a loophole. It's like, oh, dude, I can just be a dick and take my obnoxious as shit dog everywhere. And you ruin it for people that want to, really take their dog somewhere and they've got them properly trained.
Hey, as we roar into Rocktober, we're well into Rocktober. Ram Power Days at Zott M59 Dodge Ram continue to blow away the competition. Due to unprecedented demand, Zott has extended the remarkable 169 lease on the new 17 Dodge Ram Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4. Yes, it's a mouthful, but a 169 lease keeps your pockets full. Folks, this is a loaded $45,000 Ram truck, and they have 175 of them to choose from only at dealsinthed.com.
Jay, how are we doing for email?
We do have some email. Before I get to email proper, I'd like to...
We've got to get to the Lions game tonight.
Sure.
Sunday Night Football, hosting Pittsburgh.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm. I'm supposed to be at the game.
Yeah, I heard that.
Damn it.
You mentioned that.
Jerry and Beth.
Before we get to email proper, I would like to thank listener Charlotte, or maybe she goes by Charlotte. I don't know.
I think Charlotte.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hi, guys, she says. I hope the arrival of Mr. Sausage finds you well. So, of course, she's the one who sent us the nice Kowalski blow-up sausage. And this is what I love most about the fact that she sent us said blow-up sausage.
Yeah.
She sent it to us in blow-up state.
Yeah, isn't that great?
So we get a fucking big-ass box, and we're like, what the heck? It's
What
really
is
late.
this?
Like, what the heck? Is this just filled with, like, anthrax?
Yeah,
It's just
that's
powder.
It's
You're
my
gonna open this up
natural
and
thought. Yeah.
Dead. All of us dead. No, we open it up, and there's a blown-up Mr. Sausage from Kowalski. I mean, she could have, deflated it and rolled it up, packed it up into
50 cents, sent it in an envelope.
And if you're watching on YouTube now, he's just chilling on the couch.
chilling on the astronom couch.
Hell yeah.
Please consider this my submission in the Show Me Your Sausage. I'm sorry, Charlotte. It arrived a bit late for that.
It did, and we didn't have anything to do with it anyways. That was Jerry and Jerry alone that drew the winner. So,
and she also says, I know Jay likes to stand in line at the quaint Franklin post office, so here you go. Enjoy. Thanks for the laughs. Yeah. And this is where it gets hairy. Rural mail carrier, Charlotte. Rural. Yeah. Rural. So thank you, Charlotte. We appreciate that.
Yeah, he'll be here. We'll treat him well.
Dan, piggybacking on the visit from Jerry. I've been saving this for Jerry's visit, says Dan. I figured I would save this email for the day that Jerry was in studio due to the pecker play involved. This goes back to the discussion about having a dick dropped on a shoulder. I agree with Jay and Ephus on this. There is no way that this is acceptable in a work environment at all. With that said,
not settled.
With that said, my incident happened at work, sort of. While I was in the Marine Corps, there was a black dude that would always say the Thai prostitutes wouldn't fuck him because his dick was too big. I would call bullshit. For months this went on, and he would stick to his story. Well, one day we were all hanging out in the barracks room, waiting to get let go for the weekend. Everyone liked to hang out in my room because we had that motherfucker set up like an apartment, couch, stereo, cable, and of course the Sony PlayStation.
Hell yeah.
Well, I was sitting on the couch, which was away from the wall so that we could put chairs behind it so people could watch the TV and play games. I don't really recall what we were doing because that was 20-some years ago, and my memory's a bit fuzzy about that day. But what I do remember,
and we'll never forget,
as if it happened yesterday, is the following. As I sit on the couch doing whatever the hell it was, I felt a thump on my left shoulder.
Oh, no.
Not thinking much of it, I turned my head and BAM! It was the biggest black cock I had ever seen up close and in person. That fucker was so big, he dropped it from over the back of the couch and onto my shoulder. And if I would have turned my head another inch, the tip of his circumcised cock would have touched my lips.
Whoa, so he was staring down the barrel of the gun.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Well, in disbelief and for reasons I still don't understand to this day, my reaction was to reach up and grab the biggest, most supple and smooth cock that was on my shoulder.
I don't know what the play is, dude. I got to be honest with you. I'm thinking, I don't know.
Do you
what
grab
the
it and pull?
It could be something like with a bug where you're like, ah! You look like a little girl.
You probably, it's probably
smack it. God.
Smack it.
Ah! Yeah. But if you had the
Dude.
wherewithal to, like, in the moment, not panic, and just be like, all right, motherfucker.
It's like the gym teacher in Porky's.
Yeah.
Right? The dick goes through the hole. She grabbed it and pulled.
2 feet up on the wall.
Taught them a lesson.
Yeah.
Well, Dan taught this dude a lesson, too. He grabbed it. The look on the guy's face is still etched in my brain. The look of horror that came across his face as if his manhood was gripped by another man was what I would have expected. Nothing but fear. I'm not sure why I grabbed it so quickly. Maybe I have some sort of gay deep inside my soul that I've been repressing, but that was the first and only cock other than my own that has ever been in my hand. Dan.
Really?
What a story.
Boy,
what a story, Dan.
I think if you're he was a Marine, right? Marine?
Yeah.
I think if you're the black Marine and your dick is that impressive that it's going to make a thumping sound on the shoulder, I think the move is not, why put it in harm's way? You don't want to just casually thump it over his shoulder because you might get it. But if he just walked up the same way and just kind of whap, smacked him across the side of the ear, just kind of give a thwap to the ear and cheek, and then it bounces back.
It's out of harm's way. It's out of harm's way.
You're running down the hallway now. You're in a chase, but whatever. You're black. You're probably faster than all those guys anyways. He could have done some serious damage there.
Whew. Wayne writes in. Subject, Mark Leibovitz, not a dick email. Thanks for introducing Mark to your audience. He's a super smart dude who's going to help me immensely. He took an hour and a half explaining everything and made sure I understood the entire process concerning his finances. He even went a half hour past quitting time to do this. Without the DCast, I would have never had the opportunity to work with Merck. Thanks, Wayne.
Yeah, Merck's great.
Merck's a great guy.
Wait a minute, it's his own job. He doesn't have quitting time, right?
Yeah, Merck's not on the clock.
He's on his own clock.
That's right. Mike writes in concerning sex while pregnant. Sex can absolutely induce labor, and that can be a bad thing if you're only 32 weeks along. Found out 2 days ago that orgasms cause my wife to have contractions all night long after, so it's not all fun and games, my friends. Restricted to hands and mouth, Mike.
Wait, what is he saying?
So it's causing her to have contractions.
Like an earthquake sensation then goes up to the baby? Is that the
No,
the
dude,
worry?
Contractions start to move the baby out.
So he's saying it's got a long way to go.
Yes. It's got more cooking to do, and he's like, he's got like 6 or 8 weeks to go.
Do you believe that? The doctors tell him like
sounds plausible.
Really?
A woman's orgasm just it tightens and squeezes. And it's plausible.
He has no idea what you're talking about.
I know,
right now.
a woman's orgasm.
Yeah.
He's like, not interested.
Yeah, what language are you guys talking?
I'm a selfish lover.
I don't know that language. Dude, I don't know. There's something about it. I know it's a thing, the pregnant sex. There's like videos on it and creepy porn on it, but I don't know.
It's not weird. It's not weird, honestly. I mean,
really?
It is. I'll say this. The first couple times, it is absolutely weird. But then you get going and
like I imagine the like my size, it's not weird. It's whatever. But when it starts to get to that, like the titties
bulbous.
are huge and it's bulbous.
Yeah.
It's popping out. I saw someone had a Halloween costume, just like this green thing, and then her pregnancy belly, so it looked like an avocado.
Oh,
with
nice.
its pit still in. That was kind of funny. But yeah, when it gets that bulb, like I'd just be so worried that what I'm going to do is.
No problem.
Are you sure?
Go at it, yeah.
Because I want to, I got to flip around and slam her on
yeah.
the wall.
You got to chill on that.
Hoist it up and then slam.
You're not hoisting anything. Let's be honest.
I mean, I like to get into it.
Hoisting it up.
And then in one motion, roll over. She's on top of me, and then I throw her passionately up against the wall and hold her up with my knee and her buttocks as I fucking hammer from underneath. And
is this the same guy that gets tired walking up the stairs?
Yes, it is the same guy.
I'm kind of a bit winded doing that.
They're doing cowgirl. That's what they're doing.
Reverse.
Okay.
So what is the move? I think I asked you this the other day. I don't want to repeat ourselves, but like if you had to pick one, you go, oh, dude, no doubt, it's doggy. You see the least scary shit and it feels the most normal, or is it?
No, I mean you can do whatever.
Really?
Missionary, whatever. Yeah, you can do cowgirl.
Really? Even at 9 months? All right.
Yeah.
I believe you. I've never run into that situation. Hey, can we wrap up a couple minutes early? Do you guys care?
Of course. We'll save the rest for tomorrow.
Yes, the Lions pregame is on. I'm actually excited. This is a big game for them. At home against Pittsburgh. Ben Roethlisberger.
The crowd should be really loud and drunk. I don't know if you saw because they offered they did a deal tonight where they opened the gates a little early and they had really cheap beer specials.
Oh wow.
So the crowd should be liquored up and loud.
Just what a Detroit audience needs. More lubrication. Awesome. Well, cool. Thanks, everybody, for hanging with us. Thanks for all the donations over the weekend to Ease Thing.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah, we'll be giving away some more seats, it sounds like, too, to join us. So exciting things ahead. Thank you all for hanging with us today. We'll do it again tomorrow. We'll see you then.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.